The stranded children. The human transport ship Aurora Dawn drifted silently through the edge of an uncharted nebula, its sensors catching a faint distress beacon. Captain Leon had almost ignored it. After all, this part of the galaxy was supposed to be empty. But something in the signal didn't sound automated. It pulsed like a heartbeat, weak but desperate. He ordered his ship closer. The nebula shimmered in strange colors, hiding fragments of wreckage, metal twisted by impossible heat. Then through the fog, his crew spotted a small escape pod. It looked alien, its surface breathing faint blue light. When they opened the pod, two small figures stared back at them. They weren't human. Their skin was pale silver, their eyes large and bright like tiny suns. They didn't speak his language, but they clung to each other, trembling. One reached out a small hand, whispering something that sounded like "Mother." Leon felt something shift inside him. He had seen many strange things in deep space, but never something so innocent. He ordered the medbay cleared and carried the twins himself. They were scared, cold, and clearly far from home. As the Aurora Dawn's doctor scanned them, the results shocked everyone. The children carried genetic markers of a royal lineage, belonging to the Trial Dominion, one of the most powerful alien empires known. But how had royal children ended up alone, lost in a human sector? Soon, encrypted alien transmissions filled nearby space. Someone was searching for them. The twins' homeworld had sent fleets, and rumors said entire systems were being locked down. Whoever lost these children would stop at nothing to find them, or silence those who had them. Leon knew returning them wouldn't be simple. The Trail were not friends of humanity. Their empire had once called humans primitive scavengers. If he contacted them directly, his ship might be destroyed on sight. But leaving the children was not an option. Over the next few days, the crew grew attached to the twins. The little girl laughed when Leon showed her how to draw stars on the ship's window frost, while her brother followed him around the bridge, curious about every blinking light. Slowly, they began to trust him, but one night, alarms screamed. The Aurora Dawn's radar picked up a shadow moving fast, a Trial warcruiser. Its weapon systems were active. The aliens were not here to thank anyone. Leon ordered evasive maneuvers, but the cruiser was faster. Its energy beams tore through nearby asteroids. A deep voice filled the comms, speaking in harsh tones. "Return the royal heirs at once, or your ship will be erased." Leon stared at the frightened twins. He could see they didn't want to go. Whatever awaited them on that cruiser wasn't home, it was fear. He took a deep breath and gave his command. "Cut communications. Prepare for silent drive." The Aurora Dawn vanished into the storm of the nebula, its light swallowed by cosmic dust. The crew moved in tense silence as they drifted between plasma clouds, hiding from the scanning beams sweeping through space. Hours turned into days. Supplies were running low, but the children smiled whenever Leon promised, "I'll get you home, safely." Then the girl handed him a small metal pendant, something she had been hiding since the pod was opened. It glowed faintly, projecting an image of two massive thrones surrounded by stars, a symbol of their royal bloodline. A map shimmered within it, pointing to a place unknown. Leon realized the twins weren't just lost, they were being hunted by their own kind. He looked out the viewport, the stars reflecting in his tired eyes. "So that's how it is," he whispered. "If their world won't protect them, maybe humanity will." And as the ship turned toward the far reaches of space, a storm was already forming beyond the nebula. Fleets were moving. Empires were watching. A single human ship carrying two alien children had just become the most dangerous secret in the galaxy. The Empire's shadow. The Aurora Dawn drifted in silence for 3 days, its engines hidden behind the clouds of the nebula. The crew worked quietly, repairing damage and keeping sensors low. No one spoke much. They all knew that one mistake could expose them to the enemy fleet hunting nearby. Captain Leon watched the twins sleep in the medbay. The boy still held the pendant close to his chest, the same one that projected the royal sigil. The little girl whispered in her sleep, words he couldn't understand but feelings he could: fear, loss, and something deeper. Trust. He turned to his officer, Mira, who stood beside him. "We can't keep running forever," he said softly. "If we stay hidden too long, we'll run out of supplies. But if we send a signal, the Tyrell Empire will find us first." Mira frowned. Then maybe we should find them first. That pendant, it's not just a map. It's showing coordinates. Maybe it's where they were trying to go before their ship was destroyed. Leon studied the glowing map again. The coordinates pointed toward a region deep within terrestrial space, one marked on human charts as forbidden. A world named Veyara, rumored to be the heart of the royal domain. It was suicide to go there. But the twins had nowhere else. As the Aurora Dawn prepared to leave the nebula, Leon gave a simple command. Plot a course to Veyara. Keep us under stealth. The ship's engines hummed softly, slipping into dark space. Stars stretched into thin lines as they jumped across the void. Hours later, Mira burst into the bridge. Captain, you need to see this. She projected intercepted transmissions onto the display. Alien voices filled the air, imperial commands, encrypted orders, and something chilling. The royal heirs must not be recovered alive. The crew stared in shock. The Empire wanted the twins dead. Leon's hands tightened around the railing. So that's the truth. This isn't a rescue. It's a purge. The twins' parents were gone. The throne was empty. Someone in the Empire, maybe a powerful noble, wanted to erase the children to claim power for themselves. Suddenly, the little boy entered the bridge. He looked up at Leon with those bright golden eyes and said softly, "Bad ones. Follow." He pointed at the window. The radar flickered. A shadow appeared behind them. A small terrestrial hunter craft had locked onto their trail. Evasive maneuvers. Leon shouted. The Aurora Dawn spun through the darkness as plasma bolts streaked past. The hunter followed close, its claws of light cutting through space. Mira's voice echoed. "They're faster." Leon hit the emergency switch. "Then we fight." The ship's turrets roared, lighting up the black void. Metal shook, alarms blared, but finally, an explosion bloomed behind them. The hunter vanished in a flash of fire. The crew cheered, but Leon didn't smile. "If one found us," he said quietly, "more will follow." Hours later, they reached the edge of terrestrial territory. The pendant pulsed brighter, its light leading them toward a hidden moon orbiting a dying star. It wasn't Veyara. It was something older, forgotten. They landed in a valley filled with ruins. Strange symbols covered stone walls, glowing faintly as the twins approached. The ground itself seemed to recognize them. When the boy touched one of the symbols, the entire ruin came alive. Holographic patterns filled the air, forming a tall, elegant figure, a projection of the former queen herself. Her voice was soft, distant, but filled with power. "To whoever finds this, my children are not safe. The council betrayed us. Take them far, far away until they are old enough to return." The image flickered, fading into mist. Leon stood there, stunned. The truth was now clear. The Empire had destroyed its own royal family. The twins were the last of their kind. Mira whispered, "Captain." "What now?" Leon looked at the twins, who were now holding his hands, their small fingers warm and trembling. He took a deep breath. "We can't take them back," he said. "Not yet. If the Empire knows they're alive, they'll burn entire worlds to find them." The boy looked up. "Stay with you?" Leon nodded. "Yes, until it's safe." But far above them, beyond the dying star, several red signals began to move across the radar. Warships, dozens of them. The Empire had found their trail again. As the Aurora Dawn prepared for liftoff, the old ruins shook violently. The twins' pendant began to glow brighter than ever, sending a pulse of light into the sky, a signal that echoed across space. Mira gasped. "Captain." That wasn't a beacon. It was a call. Leon turned toward her, realization dawning. Then who did it call? Before she could answer, a deep, thunderous sound rolled through the sky. Clouds split apart as massive, ancient ships, different from any known design, descended from the stars. They weren't terrestrial. They weren't human. They were something older. And somehow they had come for the twins. The hidden thrones. The Aurora Dawn trembled as enormous shadows filled the sky. The strange ships above were unlike anything the crew had ever seen, made of dark crystal and silver light, silent as ghosts. Their size dwarfed even the largest terrestrial dreadnought. "Captain, what are those things?" Mira whispered. Leon stared upward, eyes narrowing. "They're answering the signal," he said quietly. "But they're not here to destroy us." As if hearing his voice, one of the ancient ships descended slowly, landing near the ruins. A shimmering light opened beneath it, and a tall hooded figure stepped out. Its presence was calm, but powerful enough to make the air feel heavy. The twins ran forward without fear. The figure knelt, lowering its hood. Beneath was a face of pale gold skin, eyes glowing faint blue. "Children of the royal line," the being said in a soft melodic voice, "you have awakened the guardians of Vayara." Leon and Mira exchanged shocked looks. "Guardians?" The figure turned to Leon. "Long before your species learned to walk among the stars, we swore to protect the blood of the first thrones. The Terial Empire was born from that blood, but over time greed replaced honor. The council betrayed their own queen. Her heirs were hidden, until now." Leon looked down at the twins. "So their mother, she sent them here?" "Yes," the guardian replied. "And she left her final message to one who would protect them. Not a Terial, but a being with a heart uncorrupted by power." The guardian's gaze fell directly on Leon. "You." The word struck him like thunder. "Me, I'm just a human captain, not a king." The guardian smiled faintly. "And yet you risked everything for children not your own. The true ruler is not chosen by blood, but by choice." Before Leon could respond, the ground shook violently. Red lights filled the horizon. Trial warships were descending through the clouds. "They found us," Mira said, gripping her weapon. "We can't fight that fleet." The guardian turned toward the approaching ships. "You do not need to. You must decide. Will you give the children back to those who wish to kill them, or will you protect them, knowing it may doom your own kind?" Leon's heart pounded. His ship was small, his crew tired, his weapons weak. But when he looked into the twins' eyes, those bright, trusting eyes, he already knew his answer. He stood tall. "No one hurts them again. Not while I'm breathing." The guardian nodded slowly. "Then you are already more royal than the ones who sit upon their empty thrones." Moments later, beams of light rained down as the Terial fleet opened fire. The guardians raised their hands, forming shields of glowing energy that bent the attacks harmlessly away. The air thundered with power. Mira shouted over the noise, "Captain! The Aurora Dawn can't take this much longer." Leon turned to her. "Get the kids aboard." "We're leaving now." The guardians surrounded the ship, channeling their energy to cloak it in light. The twins reached out, touching the crystal walls of the ruins one last time. The symbols glowed brighter, sending waves of energy through the ground. Then the entire valley exploded in light. When the flash cleared, the Aurora Dawn was gone, jumped to another sector entirely. The guardians had saved them, but something was different. The pendant around the twins' neck now glowed steadily, showing not one throne but 3. The image shifted to reveal one of them marked with a human symbol, the Terran eagle. Mira frowned. "Captain, why is there a human crest there?" Leon stared at it, uneasy. "Because whatever their mother planned, it wasn't just to save her children. She wanted to change the Empire itself." The twins looked up at him. The girl whispered softly, "Home." Leon nodded, though he wasn't sure what home meant anymore. "We'll find it," he said. "But first we need allies." He turned to his crew. "Plot a course to human space. If the Trial want war, they'll have to go through Earth first." As the Aurora Dawn jumped into the void, the scene returned to the ruins. The guardians watched the empty valley where the ship had been. "The prophecy begins," one said quietly. Another replied, "The man of Earth carries the heirs of stars. The Empire will fall and a new crown will rise, one forged by humanity." Far away in the capital of the Trial Dominion, alarms echoed. The council had detected the energy pulse. The Supreme Regent rose from her throne, her voice cold as ice. "Find the human ship," she ordered, "and bring me the heads of whoever hides the royal twins." The return to human space. The Aurora Dawn came out of warp in the dark side of Sol system. Earth hung below, blue and bright, silent after weeks of chaos in the void. The crew stared at their homeworld with quiet relief, yet deep inside everyone knew peace would not last. Captain Leon leaned against the console, his uniform torn, eyes weary but sharp. "Send coded signal to Earth Command," he ordered. "Tell them, we're bringing company." Mira smiled faintly. "They won't believe this until they see it." Behind them, the alien twins sat close together, watching Earth through the viewport. The boy pressed his small hand against the glass, his eyes wide. So many lights, he whispered. Leon nodded softly. That's home, my home. And now maybe yours too. But just as they approached orbit, a warning filled the bridge. Unknown ships detected. Multiple lock-ons! Dozens of human defense cruisers appeared from the dark, surrounding them in formation. The comms came alive with sharp voices. Unidentified vessel. This is Earth Defense Command. You are entering restricted airspace. Cut engines and prepare for boarding. Mira cursed under her breath. They think we're a threat. Leon raised his hand slowly. Transmit this code, and tell them we're carrying diplomatic cargo. After tense minutes, the line went silent. Then a new voice spoke, cold, deep, and official. Captain Leon of the Aurora Dawn, you are ordered to land at the lunar base for questioning. Bring your passengers. The crew exchanged nervous glances. Everyone knew what questioning meant when aliens were involved. Hours later, the Aurora Dawn touched down on the moon's gray surface. Soldiers surrounded them. Scientists and officers waited nearby, whispering in confusion when they saw the small silver-skinned twins step out beside Leon. The air filled with stunned murmurs. One of the generals stepped forward, his expression caught between fear and disbelief. Those are Tyrael children. Leon met his eyes calmly. They're the lost heirs of the Empire. And they're under my protection. The general's tone sharpened. Protection? Captain, do you realize what you've done? The Trail fleet is already on its way here. If they believe we're holding royal blood, they already know, Leon interrupted. And they don't want them rescued. They want them dead. A heavy silence filled the room. One of the scientists stepped closer to the twins, scanning them. The genetic signature? It's real. These children are legitimate heirs to the first thrones. The general looked horrified. Then the Empire is leaderless and desperate. They'll destroy Earth to hide their betrayal. Leon's eyes hardened. Then let them come. The general frowned. You speak like you're ready for war. Leon looked out at the stars beyond the window. I'm not ready for war, but I am ready to stand between monsters and 2 innocent lives. That night inside the Lunar Command Center, chaos erupted. Reports came in, Tyrael fleets massing on the outer edge of Sol. Civilians were being evacuated. The Galactic Council, a coalition of alien powers, held an emergency meeting. A hologram of the council's speaker appeared before Leon. Captain, you've created a crisis that could destroy everything. Return the heirs to the Empire. Let the Tyrael handle their own affairs. Leon clenched his fists. You mean let them kill their own children? The speaker's eyes flashed. You don't understand how delicate this balance is. Humanity is new to the stars. One wrong move and every empire will turn on you. Leon took a step forward. Then maybe it's time they learned why humans survive everything. Because when we care about something, we don't back down. The council fell silent. Then the speaker's image vanished. Mira exhaled slowly. You just told the most powerful beings in the galaxy to go to hell. Leon smirked. Yeah, feels good. Hours later, alarms blared again. The radar showed hundreds of red dots entering the system. The Tyrael Armada. Massive ships darkened the edge of space, blocking out the sun. The invasion had begun. On Earth, panic spread. On the moon, soldiers rushed to battle stations. The twins stood near Leon, clutching his coat. The little girl whispered, They come for us. Leon knelt and smiled gently. They come for you, yes. But they'll have to go through me first. He pressed a button on his wrist console, activating a link to the Terran Defense Network. All across the system, old human warships came to life. Steel giants sleeping for decades, rising again. From Mars, Jupiter, and the Moon, human fleets began to form ranks. Their engines burned bright blue, their hulls marked with the Terran Eagle. Mira stared at the tactical display, her voice low but proud. They think humanity is weak. Leon nodded. Then tonight we remind them what it means to fight humans. As the first Tyrael destroyers entered firing range, the Aurora Dawn took point. Leon's voice echoed across every comm channel. This is Captain Leon of Earth Command. We stand for the lost. We stand for the innocent. And we will not kneel. In the darkness of space, 2 massive fleets faced each other. One fought for pride, the other for protection. And far in the distance, unseen by both, the guardians of Vayara watched silently. The time has come, one murmured. The King of 2 Worlds rises. The pendant around the boy's neck began to glow again, brighter than ever before. Strange symbols shimmered in the air, spreading across the ship's walls like veins of light. The twins spoke softly in their native tongue, and suddenly the Aurora Dawn shook as something ancient awoke deep within its core. "What's happening?" Mira gasped. Leon looked up at the glowing ceiling. "I think they just turned the ship into something else." Outside, human soldiers watched in awe as the small transport ship changed. Metallic plates shifted, engines expanded, and pure energy flowed through its frame. The Aurora Dawn became something new, something alive. The twins' voices echoed through the comms. Mother's gift, now awake. The first wave of Tyrael destroyers opened fire. Blue plasma rained down, cutting through space, but the Aurora Dawn's new shields flared white, absorbing everything. "Fire," Leon commanded. Human railguns lit up the void. Kinetic rounds streaked like falling stars, smashing through enemy shields. The first Tyrael cruiser exploded, followed by another. The Empire's fleet had never seen humans fight like this. Across the system, every human ship rallied. Captains shouted across comms, inspired by the courage of one man. For Earth. "For the lost!" Mira's voice broke through the noise. "Captain, the Tyrael flagship is charging a planet-killer cannon." Leon's jaw tightened. "Then we end this now." He turned to the twins. "Can you reach them? Can you stop that weapon?" The twins closed their eyes and held hands. Their pendant pulsed faster, sending out waves of golden energy. Across the enemy fleet, systems began to fail. The massive flagship shuddered, its cannon losing power. Then from its bridge, a cold, familiar voice echoed through open channels. "You dare defy the Dominion human?" It was the Tyrael regent, the one who had ordered the children's deaths. Her image appeared proud and venomous. "You protect what is not yours. You think your kind can rule among the stars?" Leon met her gaze through the projection. "I don't want to rule. I want to protect. Something your empire forgot long ago." Her eyes narrowed. "Then you'll die for them." "Maybe," Leon said. "But at least they'll live free." The Tyrael armada unleashed everything. The sky turned white. But the Aurora Dawn surged forward, a comet of light, shields blazing. Every ship around it followed. Human destroyers rammed enemy cruisers. Fighters danced through enemy lines. The galaxy's youngest race fought with a fire the Empire could not understand. Inside the chaos, the twins' power reached its peak. Their pendant shattered, releasing a burst of pure energy that spread across the battlefield. The Guardians of Vayara appeared again, towering forms of light surrounding the fight. Their voices filled every comm at once. "The heirs have chosen their protector. The crown of two worlds awakens." A beam of golden energy connected the Aurora Dawn and the Tyrael flagship. The Guardian light fused with human steel. Leon stepped forward, glowing symbols crawling across his skin. The energy flowed through him, not burning but empowering. The Regent screamed as her ship began to disintegrate. "What are you?" Leon's voice echoed like thunder. "I'm human." The explosion that followed lit up half the solar system. The Tyrael fleet broke apart, its command gone. Ships fled in panic. Humanity had survived and won. When silence finally returned, the Aurora Dawn drifted near Earth, its hull scorched but intact. The twins stood beside Leon, gazing at the stars. Mira approached quietly. "The Council's hailing you. They're calling you something new. The King of Two Worlds." Leon chuckled softly. "I'm no king," the boy tugged his sleeve. "But we choose you." Leon looked at them, two small beings who carried the weight of a galaxy, and smiled. "Then I'll carry that crown until you're ready for it." He turned toward the stars, voice calm and steady. "Prepare the ship. There are still children out there who need saving." Mira raised an eyebrow. "You mean more royals?" "No," Leon said with a grin. "More people like us." Far beyond human space, the Guardians of Vayara faded into the starlight. Their final words echoed softly across the void. In the darkest hour of the galaxy, it was not power that saved the stars. It was humanity. The end.